Tony is a full bodysuit,
Yes.
right? So,
Yes.
So can we just first start off? Puppeteering is not just like you cover so many different things.
It's true.
And like, what can you tell me what constitutes a puppet?
I don't know. I wish I was smart enough to give you this like really astute, concise, academic, but it's so many things. It's just like animating something that wouldn't otherwise be believable as like a sentient living thing. Like Marty Robinson, who does Snuffy, who I can't believe you've never heard of Snuffy. That's crazy. Oh, wait, no, you had never heard of Telly and Slimy.
Yeah,
Like he'll be
Slimy.
like, this water bottle. Now it's alive, I just puppeteered this water bottle,
Right.
And so Tony was like, he had no moving mouth. He had no eye focus because his eyes were googly. It was just like a mascot costume. He was like the unholy, like love child of Barney and Gritty.
Gritty. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's great.
But there was puppeteering to
Yeah.
it because like I didn't just stand there and like say the lines. Like I kind of like had to give him a little bit of like character in the way that he like, moved and stuff, And so like, yeah, it's puppeteer. That one happened so randomly. It was like during COVID, and Matt Vogel, who plays Big Bird, and he's our puppet captain and one of the executive producers of Sesame Street, he randomly texts me and says like, are you still able to work? And also, how tall are you? And I go, what? And he goes, how short can you be? I'm like, what? And so in this episode of Nora from Queens, Awkwafina's character, her imaginary childhood friend comes back to really fuck shit up. Like her dad is dating somebody. She doesn't know how to feel, and it like manifests in her childhood imaginary friend who sabotages stuff and tries to break him up. And so originally they wanted like some character actor like Wallace Shawn to come in and play this Drop Dead Fred type of character, but everybody passed on it. And so with 2 weeks until they were going to shoot, they decided it would be a full body costume. But Awkwafina is 5'2". You put somebody like Matt, who plays Big Bird, in a costume, and now your two-shot looks like this. And so they were like, so he's like, so how short can you be? I'm like, for Awkwafina, I will be in a squat. Like, I will be however short you need me to be. And so they like vetted me out to make sure I wasn't like a crazy like puppeteer. And then they put me on the production meeting and like.
There are a lot of those.
Yeah.
No comment.
Next question.
And so like, and Nora Awkwafina was just like, wait, you're the puppeteer. I don't think she expected an Asian woman to be who they vetted. And she was so stoked. She was like, this is representation at another
That's
level.
awesome.
Yes. So then there's a guy who builds like mascot, like weird, crazy costumes. And he did it super fast. He's not a puppeteer. And so he built like the whole costume is like lined in like 2-inch like foam rubber. There was no joints. Super hot and not bendable. Like every time I walked and moved, it was like working against resistance bands, which kind of ended up like informing his character a little bit because he would just kind of hop around like this or whatever. And his legs were like, his knees were down here. So I couldn't even like bend my knee. It was, you find the limitations, and that's in any puppet, any quirks, like even if like maybe like the mouth is crooked and then you kind of like talk like this, like you find those like characteristics from the physical puppet and you use it to inform. But anyway, wait, why were we? Oh, so then they were like, okay, so we got our puppeteer, but they were gonna find some like celebrity male comedian to ADR it, and so they mic'd me for reference, but then I just kind of went for it, and like I gotta say, like that Tony character was really my formative role for me, because it was the first time I had been on a set without a puppet captain. There was no puppet people there. There was no mouth or like eyes to worry about. It was the first time I was able to sort of like really live and breathe just a character from head to toe and feel just like, I'm just going to go for it. On Sesame Street, I'm constantly like, is that okay? Is that too much? I'm just going to, oh God, that looks terrible. I'm like, there's a million voices in my head going, oh God. Like they're going to realize how much I'm like terrible at this.
But that's like the weight of the show.
That is the weight of the show. And also like me feeling like, my first day on Sesame Street, I was like 35 and pregnant with my daughter. I'm like, this is not my, you know what I mean? This was not my original trajectory. Like I'm not a performer, am I? And Tony, I'm totally hidden, and I don't have to worry about this. I'm just like, have to like live and breathe this character. And they're going to ADR my voice anyway. I'm just going to fucking go for it. And they ended up thinking it was really funny. And they kept it, and Awkwafina posted about me on her social media. Like the rap presents were like stickers of Tony, and they brought me back for like a cameo the next season. They like really loved him, and I'm like, they didn't do that as a diversity hire, because man, I do feel that sometimes. I'm like, I'm only here because they have enough white guys, and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm only here because I'm Asian and I'm a woman, and they need women of color. And I'm like,
but I mean, if she's surprised by the fact that you're there too, like that's like an accomplishment within itself.
For sure. And like, but I'm like, they didn't need to keep my voice. You know what I mean? They didn't need to post about me. They didn't need to like bring me back. It's because they just liked what I did. Wait, do I have something to bring? And that was really, for a long time at Sesame, I'm like, I'm garbage. I'm just trying not to get fired. And like, that was the first time where I'm like, wait, if Awkwafina, and I made her break a couple times, like, cause we'd be like improvising. And I'm like, I made Awkwafina laugh. So anyway, it was like a formative thing. And then a few months later was Chiyoung, and like I kind of rode that. And then there was the pressure. But like I feel like now I'm starting to really understand who Chiyoung is, and she's just like, nah! Like she's just like loud, and she's just like, doesn't really care. Maybe she's a little careless sometimes, but she's confident, she knows who she is.
She's a little bit like Janet, Kim.
She's a little bit like Janet. Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, so Tony like was and coincidentally, the first day of like main principal shooting for Tony was the same morning that we found out about the Atlanta shootings. And so, and so we were all like, and I'm on like a set with like a lot of Asian women, like groundbreaking people. Teresa Sao is like the showrunner, head writer, and she's like, she just wrote Joyride. And so she is not your typical like, shrinking, violet like Asian woman. And it was like, and I remember like reading the news and like crying about it in my trailer. And then getting to work and being like, oh yeah, you think this is what a fucking Asian woman's supposed? I will fucking show you what it is, And then like I just brought that like, fuck you, sorry, but like into that like sort of maniac character, and I don't know. It was like I was grateful to be there that day, because it was really healing just for me personally to be with all these other like badasses. And just, like the whole point of that guy shooting up that spa was like, he just couldn't help but see Asian women as like just a sexual object that were just born to tempt him from whatever. And it's just like, fuck you, So I for many reasons, like I have like such a tenderness to like towards like Tony.
Yeah.
He like, he's one of the few characters where I feel like he feels so real to me that I miss him and I miss playing him, even though he was only in like 1.5 episodes.
Right.
So yeah. But so thus ends the tale of Tony from Nora from Queens. Thank you.